NuPhy was kind enough to send me over their Kick75 wireless mechanical keyboard, and I can't wait to unbox this one. I specifically received the low profile model with the red nano switches. NuPhy inspires to create keyboards that aren't boring or uninspiring. Founded by a small team of passionate dreamers, NuPhy really went all out designing this one. They really put the fun in functional. Given the price tag, it's very interesting because the packaging alone, I think, is more premium than more expensive keyboards I've recently reviewed on my channel. And not only that, while we'll get to the actual unboxing here in a second and all the contents in the box, you do get quite a bit with this board, even though it comes in at that sub 100 price point. I really appreciate NuPhy sending this out. Just know that they had no say in this content here, just sent the board and I'm just uploading my thoughts. I love the added character of the 8-bit throwback retro gaming feel that they brought to this. It's just so cool. Anyways, you get the idea. Premium packaging. Let's get to the unboxing to see what's actually inside. In the box, there's a sealed envelope. Unsealing it, you're presented with some nice 8-bit themed stickers, a quick start guide, as well as some added Q&A documentation. Setting the Kick75 aside for now, revealing the added accessories, you of course get a USB-A to USB-C cable, which is quite nice honestly. You also get a key removal tool along with some extra keycaps. 5 additional keys to be specific, so if you want to swap out, for example, maybe add the Alt key, you have that option. And here it is, the beautiful Kick75 low profile mechanical keyboard, looking very retro, transparent, and giving Lego or Nike sneaker vibes right out of the box. I absolutely love this design. The transparent 8-bit inspired polycarbonate case stands out visually. The unique dual socket PCB allows the board to accept both low profile and standard profile switches. I will note it is heavier and thicker than traditional low-profile travel boards like the NuPhy Air 75, for example. There's an included embedded housed 2.4 dongle, as well as nice retro switches for swapping between Mac or Windows, as well as switches for wired or wireless connectivity. On the bottom of the board, there's an 8-bit mural giving a, well, nod to retro gaming with this retro board. There's also some nice grip on the bottom, ensuring it doesn't slip or slide around your desk. There's also the feet to give you some incline. Under noting the 100 Hz connectivity, NuPhy IO software, which by the way was a no-go for me on Linux, and I've seen many reported bugs, and while open source, the software support is locked behind purchasing a specific, more expensive firmware version of the board. So while the purpose of this board is made to make it easy switching between low and high profile, reality is swapping between the low and high profiles isn't plug and play. It requires buying a separate conversion kit, complete keyboard disassembly, and supplying your own alternate switches and keycaps. Of course, the unique dual socket PCB allows the board to accept both low profile and standard profile switches, which is a nice hybrid versatility you don't get on other boards. Keycap removal is easy with the provided tool in the box, and the red nano switches excel by combining a full plastic build for a smooth, creamy sound with an extended 3.5mm travel distance. This gives you the deeply satisfying typing feel of the full-size switch packed with a sleek low-profile design. Type test later in the video for those seeking that audio goodness. The embedded 2.4 dongle magnetically sits in the housing designed for it. Removal is easy, almost too easy I initially thought, but it does seem to stay in there pretty good in my testing without falling out easily as I initially imagined. So if you happen to take this keyboard on the go with you, I do believe it will stay inside this housing as designed. The Kick75 has many removable parts, giving you physical hardware customization options, and NuPhy provides open source files for 3D printing your own accessories, which I think is really cool. I'm using this board with Linux, but I also tested this with my work issued MacBook. You can easily swap between Mac or Windows though, whichever you prefer. Pairing is intuitive and connectivity is excellent regardless if going with Bluetooth or the 2.4 dongle. When pairing, there's a very clear indication light so you know when it's pairing and when it's connected. Maybe it's just me, but I really can't get over this really cool design aesthetic. Let me know, of course, your thoughts in the comments down below of the overall design of this board. I just think it looks so cool. Anyways, moving along here. While I'm personally not a fan of RGB anymore, you do get some subtle, not too bright RGB options with the Kick75. Just be mindful this does eventually hinder battery. However, you will notice that the stock PBT keycaps are not shine through and the layout lacks a dedicated end key. I didn't just daily drive this with my setup, but I also let my 13-year-old son use it for a day as it pairs well with his desk setup, though it totally gives me nothing vibes every time I use it. Onto the knob and a typing test shortly. I love the knob for quick volume adjustment and quick mute. It works wonderfully on my custom Linux Mint setup as well as my work issued MacBook Pro. Now to hear the gasket mounted Daki sound that rivals high-end traditional keyboards. When paired with smooth linear switches like the Red Nanos, it produces a rich, thocky acoustic signature that makes it feel and sound closer to a high-end traditional keyboard. On the NuPhy site, you can of course customize to your liking. Be mindful though, the sheer volume of optional add-ons, separate kits, etc. can add to the cost overall very quickly. However, the NuPhy Kick75 proves that you don't have to break the bank to get a stunning retro aesthetic paired with a premium gasket-mounted typing experience that not only feels incredible, but audibly sounds just as incredible. While the software and hybrid conversion process have a few minor quirks, the overall typing experience and the customization options are incredibly hard to beat at this price point. If you want a fun, standout centerpiece for your desk setup, the Kick75 is an absolute steal. Let me know in the comments if you're sold on the transparent look. Thanks again to NuPhy, and as always, thank you for watching, take care, and stay safe.